Laos is perhaps a country with a very unfamiliar name to you, and one thing is certain. This country also exists with countless strange things that you have never heard of. Touching others, cutting hair, or even wearing shoes are prohibited in this country. I won't let you be curious anymore. Let's explore together 15 strange laws and customs that only exist in Laos. Number 15. Prohibition of haircuts on Wednesday. Finding a barbershop on Wednesdays or in the evenings is quite difficult in Laos. Laotians avoid cutting hair, shaving or cutting hair on Wednesday evenings and washing their hair on Thursdays. Laotians have some special cultural and religious beliefs related to haircuts and hair care in their folklore. Cutting hair in the evening can bring bad luck or misfortune. This is related to the belief that at night the space is blurry and haircuts can cause a series of unwanted accidents. Furthermore, hair is considered a shield against evil spirits in Laotian culture. Cutting hair or shaving in the evening will release the evil spirits and attack the person. In addition, there is also a convention that cutting hair on Wednesday is not encouraged because Wednesday is considered an unlucky day in Laotian religious beliefs. Anyway, in Laos, no matter what problems your hair encounters, you can't cut or beautify it. Try to wait until the next day to avoid breaking the rules and to have peace of mind. Number 14, must go with a guide. While Laos is a relatively safe country in terms of crime and violent theft compared to neighboring countries, unfortunately, this country has another danger. 260 million cluster bombs were dropped on Laos from 1964 to 1973, and thousands of unexploded bombs are still scattered in rural areas, killing or injuring more than 100 people each year. If you are walking, walk on the road, and better yet, go with a guide who knows the land and language and can keep everyone safe. When passing through a village, if you see a cotton thread stretched across the village entrance or a special sign called T.Al Leo, you must understand that the people in this village prohibit strangers from entering. There may be unfortunate things happening in the village or simply the villagers do not want to interact with strangers, so they use this sign to remind outsiders. If you see this sign and still intentionally enter, being driven away or even attacked or cursed is something hard to avoid. Additionally, when visiting a native's house, if you see the stairs pushed out of the house, definitely do not go up because the house is empty. If any house has a fresh branch of leaves inserted at the top of the stairs, do not go up, because the house has a taboo against outsiders approaching. Number 13. High head, low feet principle. One thing you must remember if you don't want to be cursed or even driven away by Laotians when you come here, is to always keep your feet lower than your head, and never touch the head of Laotian people. Laotians believe that the Buddha resides at the highest point, so everything good is always at the highest position. Therefore, the seemingly normal act of patting the head is one of the most taboo things here. Furthermore, it is even more serious if you pat or stroke a man's head, as it shows that you are seriously offending them, and may lead to unintended conflicts. Therefore, guests are not allowed to touch others' heads or pat children's heads. When walking, avoid touching or stepping over others' feet. When passing elderly people, apologize and bow slightly when greeting. Fold your hands in front of your chest with your head slightly bowed. As for your feet, never use them to touch anything belonging to others. In Laotian society, touching others' belongings with your feet can be seen as disrespectful and uneducated. It can make others feel uncomfortable and lose respect for you. If a student puts their feet on the table in class, they may very well be expelled for disrespecting the teacher and classmates. Buddhist culture makes Laotians highly respect rules. Things called taboos, once violated, will lead to regrettable consequences. Number 12. Do not argue with the police. With dozens of rules in Laos, it's hard for you not to make mistakes. And, when the police question you, you may not even know what you've done wrong, and arguing with them seems unavoidable. But from what I've learned, it's best to remain silent, rather than argue with local police. Listen to their instructions to go to the police station and contact the embassy if necessary. Don't try to be defiant or uncooperative with the police if you don't want to get into more trouble. Moreover, bribing the police is considered a very serious offense in Laos, so don't be foolish to do that. As a country with a relatively high crime rate, drug trafficking, human trafficking, wildlife trafficking, or antiquities smuggling are always choosing Laos as an ideal destination. Therefore, Laotian police are extremely sensitive, and it is believed that they may beat you to extract a confession even if you are a foreigner. Number 11. Prohibition of revealing clothing. When you come to Laos, you should put away all your revealing outfits because this is not a country where you can wear these clothes. In Laotian culture, dressing modestly is highly regarded. In many cases, wearing revealing clothes or even wearing too sexy clothes can be considered inappropriate and disrespectful to the traditions and values of society. Wearing revealing clothes is strictly prohibited in temples. If you want to enter, dress modestly. Even male tourists must adhere to this rule. This demonstrates respect for sacred places and is also a way to express self-respect and religious beliefs. In addition, wearing modest clothing also helps maintain the solemnity and purity of the temple space. Outside the temple you will see Laotians swimming fully clothed, wrapped in a traditional sarong, or sometimes in jeans. You can still wear swimwear to swim in the lake, but you can't avoid dissatisfied looks from others. Moreover, you should absolutely not walk around the pool in bikinis, as it is unacceptable in Laotian culture. Number 10. Limiting car horn usage. Although Laos is a relatively underdeveloped country with less advanced traffic, one positive point is that Laotians have quite good awareness when participating in traffic. When participating in traffic in Laos, you are not allowed to continuously honk your horn, causing noise. It is estimated that in the capital of Laos, Vientiane, there are about 500,000 cars, which means that on average about half of the population of the capital Vientiane owns a car. However, you will never hear a car horn on any road in the capital Vientiane. If you have the opportunity to participate in traffic in Laos, you will see that Laotians rarely honk their horns because they believe that the horn is the most redundant part of a car. If you don't want to be seen as an alien when participating in traffic, then don't honk your horn. The traffic participation awareness of Laotian people is very high, and they always strictly adhere to traffic laws even when the roads are congested, so you need to follow that habit of Laotian people. Number 9. Prohibition of relationships with foreigners. If you have feelings for a Laotian person, even if the two of you officially define your romantic relationship, you are not allowed to stay overnight with them, as this could land both of you in jail. Laos's criminal law stipulates a prison sentence of up to 1 year for extramarital relationships. Specifically, extramarital relationships, which can only be reported by certain groups such as relatives, will face a sentence of up to 1 year in prison. The above regulations are issued by the Laotian government with the aim of ensuring the rights of its citizens after many reports of the disadvantaged situation of Laotian citizens when having relationships with foreigners. Moreover, many Laotian women who marry and follow foreign husbands back to their countries have reported being abused and tortured both physically and mentally, such as forced labor, beatings, etc. Therefore, the new regulations require foreigners marrying Laotian citizens to have a confirmation letter from the Laotian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Number 8. Prohibitions at home. Once again, I have to emphasize that Laos are really superstitious, and they believe that spiritual forces are always around them. Therefore, even at home, Laos set many rules to avoid being disturbed by the spirits of the dead. When a Laos is alone at home, they seem to always be in a state of anxiety. Laos say that they don't sleep with their heads facing west because it will shorten their lifespan. They don't let black cats jump over a dead body because it will turn the soul of the dead person into a ghost and render them unable to reincarnate. If you hear calls or loud noises in the middle of the night, you should not answer or respond. Be careful because there may be malicious people or demons with intentions to harm you. Furthermore, they do not sweep the house in the middle of the night, as this is considered an act of driving away house spirits. To protect the family from bad luck, they do not plant large rooted trees near the house or in the yard, believing that large trees are often inhabited by wandering spirits or demons, which may disturb or bring bad things to the family. In general, they are very sensitive, and all actions must ensure that they do not violate these rules. Otherwise, they will think that they are about to encounter great disasters. Number 7. Prohibition on tapping dishes and pots while eating rice. A rule that every child in Laos is taught from the moment they start eating rice is not to use chopsticks to tap on plates or pots. According to Laos, the sound produced by tapping on dishes is believed to attract wandering spirits, bringing misfortune to the household. That sound symbolizes bad luck, which is not conducive to the well-being of the household. Unlike in the West, Laos dine around a high dining table. Instead, they sit on the floor inside the house, placing various dishes on a mat. At the same time, the belief of Peep the Elder states that the superior always takes the first bite to commence the meal, and then, in order of age, others follow suit. Additionally, guests visiting someone's home must adhere to these mandatory rules considered a unique cultural trait. Guests are not allowed to sit and eat while others are standing. The Laosan custom is to leave food in the dishes after finishing the meal. If guests do not leave food, it will be considered that they have not eaten enough, and the host will lose face. Laos are very clean, to the point of meticulousness. They have a habit of washing their hands not only before, but also after meals. I know these might sound quite troublesome, but remember them well and follow these rules if you have the opportunity to dine with Laos, as violating them implies disrespecting them and their culture. Number 6, no shoes inside the house. Like most countries in Southeast Asia, you should not wear shoes inside someone else's house. Even in some shops and restaurants in Laos, this rule applies. If you want to know exactly whether it is permitted to wear shoes or not, follow what others do. Even if your host tells you that you can wear your shoes inside their house, but they themselves do not wear shoes inside, it's better for you to take off your shoes. Because that statement from Laos is just polite, while in fact they want you to do something else. An interesting thing about Laos is that you will see most people wearing flip-flops or what they call la sandals. La sandals are a type of airy footwear. Each pair consists of a flat sole and a Y-shaped strap for the toes to slide between the big toe and the adjacent toe. Even monks will appear with these sandals under their feet instead of wearing shoes, as in other places. Number 5, prohibition on touching monks. Laos is a Buddhist country with many temples, and monks appear everywhere. But whether intentionally or unintentionally, you are not allowed to touch any monk if you don't want to get into trouble in Laos. Touching a monk or a novice is considered rude and completely taboo. If you are a woman, you are not even allowed to touch the hem of a monk's robe on the street, in the temple, or while sitting together on a tuk-tuk. Women should not directly hand anything to a monk, instead they should transfer items to an intermediary male. The only exception to this rule is to offer alms to monks in the morning by placing offerings or money in the monk's alms bowl. By the way, speaking of touching, if a Laos is unwilling to let you touch their belongings, it could be an item prone to greed, or it may hold special spiritual value to them, so they don't want anyone to touch it. It's best not to insist when someone doesn't want you to see or touch their belongings. Number 4. Prohibition on public displays of affection. If in Western countries, hugging, holding hands, and so on for women is a very normal thing to do, in Laos, this is a taboo. Actions like hugging or holding hands with Laosan girls are considered impolite, especially for unmarried girls. If you engage in such behaviors while traveling in Laos, you may be arrested and fined. For women, there must be polite actions and a sense of distance if you want to express friendliness towards them. Even in massage places, if you behave improperly with the staff, the owner will report you to the police. If you see a beautiful Laos girl, you can completely ask for a photo together. If she agrees to take a photo with you, when taking the photo, pay attention to your hands. Place both hands in front or both behind your back. If you don't do this, the consequences after the photo shoot can be very awkward. Number 3, wrist thread tying ceremony. Wherever tourists go in Laos, they often notice one or more colorful wrist threads adorning the wrists of the Laosan people, which are intriguing and eye-catching. This prompts many questions in people's minds. Are these wrist threads talismans? What is the purpose of tying wrist threads? When should one tie wrist threads? And when should they be removed? Despite the various speculations, tourists visiting this country always wish to participate in the wrist thread tying ceremony and eagerly anticipate experiencing the sensation of what it feels like to have a wrist thread tied. Tying wrist threads is not about talismans or spells. The wrist thread tying ceremony is a gesture of gratitude, celebration, and seeking blessings on occasions such as Bunt My Festival, birthdays, graduations, housewarmings, openings, weddings, and more. The ceremony is also solemnly organized to express gratitude for recovering from serious illnesses, dangers, or welcoming loved ones back from abroad. If one wishes to tie wrist threads at home, these threads must be obtained from a temple. The monks in the temple meticulously tie these threads. Each thread may be of a single color, or sometimes a single thread may be adorned with multiple colors. These threads are entrusted by the monks with blessings and carefully chosen prayers before the deities and the Buddha. Depending on the homeowner's preference, they can choose which colored threads to request for their family. Number 2. Prohibition on purchasing antiques. Weak regulations and lax enforcement have fostered a negative precedent for the illegal trade of antiques or wildlife in Laos for a long time. Laos has been viewed as a significant transit hub for smuggling rare wild animals to neighboring countries. Corruption, along with the flow of money through Laos's border areas, has facilitated rampant illegal trading in ivory, tiger bones, rhinoceros horns, and tortoise shells. Many tourists have come here to purchase ivory, but if caught, it will be confiscated and fined. It is also illegal to trade antique Buddha sculptures out of the country or those that have been stolen from temples, which diminishes cultural heritage. However, you can purchase wooden carvings from souvenir shops in Laos. Number 1. Water Festival. If you visit Laos in April, you will never stay dry, as just stepping outside you will be splashed with water by the Laotian people. The Water Festival is a distinctive traditional cultural festival of the Laos people. The event takes place in April every year, according to the Buddhist calendar, and it is also the busiest time in the land of a million elephants. This year, the festival lasts from April 14th to April 16th, similar to the Songkran festival in Thailand, Thing Yan in Myanmar, or Kanam in Cambodia. Instead of New Year's wishes, Laotians splash water on each other to wish for luck, rain, and a harmonious wind, praying for a warm and prosperous new year. According to tradition, before splashing water on each other, people often exchange good wishes as a gesture of respect. Young people splash water on older individuals to wish them longevity and prosperity. Laotians not only splash water on people, but also on houses, altars, pets, and production tools. They believe that water helps cleanse away negativity and diseases, and wish for a new year of longevity, cleanliness, and health. The more one gets wet, the more happiness they will receive. If you are in Laos during these festival days, be prepared to receive water wishes and handle your camera carefully, because you can be splashed at any time, even while driving or walking on the street. The best and most fun way is to immerse yourself in the lively crowd with enough water containers to splash and be splashed in the most wonderful festival of the year. From the prohibition on haircuts and wearing shoes to the wet shirt festivals, Laos never ceases to amaze us with its unique regulations. We invite you to follow us and continue to Indonesia, a place that will really surprise you. 15 prohibitions and strange things that only exist in Indonesia, a country formed from thousands of islands where incredibly bizarre things seem to exist, almost like something out of science fiction movies. For instance, a tribe of fish people, a land of golden jelly, or even dragons. I know it sounds unbelievable, but what I just described is entirely real. I'll prove to you that in this world, there are truly countless extraordinary things that you might have never imagined. Number 15. Cohabitation Prohibition. If you intend to bring a romantic partner to Indonesia for travel, I advise you to think it over carefully. I'm not sure if the Indonesian government has any issues with awareness or not, but they have indeed banned premarital relationships and living together for couples in love. Individuals engaged in extramarital relationships may face up to 1 year in prison, while unmarried couples living together could be sentenced to 6 months in prison. However, only parents, spouses, or children of the violators have the right to report them to the authorities. The enforcement of this law has raised concerns among many foreign tourists who wish to visit Indonesia, including the famous resort island of Bali. Although all businesses and tourists find this regulation highly unfair, the Indonesian government remains determined to implement their long-standing intention. They argue that Indonesia is a predominantly Muslim country, and many views on marriage, family, and ethics are built on the religious foundation of Islam. Banning premarital relationships is believed to bring more benefits than harm to the youth. Number 14. The Blue-Eyed Tribe. Ignoring the illogical regulations of the Indonesian government, let's move on to something truly special that only this country possesses, a tribe with stunning blue eyes. Ben Island, the 19th largest island in Indonesia, located in the southeast region of Sulawesi, is home to a unique tribe called the Bhutanese. This tribe is divided into smaller clans, among which there are individuals with beautiful sky blue eyes. This is extremely rare in Indonesia, where the majority of the population has black hair and black eyes. Moreover, this rare condition is known as Waardenburg syndrome, affecting eye pigmentation due to inheriting a specific genetic mutation. This syndrome is a rare genetic mutation estimated to affect 1 in 42,000 people. Apart from affecting eye pigmentation, this syndrome can also lead to hearing loss, from adults to children. In the Bhutanese tribe on Bhutan Island, they all have blue eyes. If someone is not aware of the origin of these eyes, they would surely think they are from another planet or a product of artificial intelligence. Number 13. Homeland of Dragons. If you don't believe dragons exist, then come with me to Indonesia, where you will witness dragons strolling casually in the wild. In addition to the tropical paradise of Bali, Indonesia is home to Komodo Island, one of the new 7 wonders of the world, announced by New 7 Wonders in 2011. This wonder boasts a pristine and majestic natural landscape and is the unique habitat of the Komodo dragon, the largest living lizard on Earth, commonly referred to as a dragon. The Komodo dragon is a species of monitor lizard found on Komodo Island, Rinca, Flores, and Gilimotang in Indonesia. Belonging to the monitor lizard family, they are the largest lizard species still in existence today. Komodo dragons can reach lengths of up to 3 meters and weigh up to 150 kilograms. They prefer to live in hot, dry places, and are often found in dry grasslands, savannas, and tropical forests at low elevations. They are most active during the day, with a top speed of 20 kilometers per hour, the ability to dive up to 4.5 meters, and adept climbing skills. Their diet includes various invertebrates, birds, and mammals, with preferred prey being deer, wild boars, and buffalo. It's important to note that Komodo dragons are dangerous creatures, possessing a venomous bite equivalent to that of a venomous snake. Their bite can cause paralysis, and their saliva contains various proteins that can lead to eventual death. Additionally, Komodo dragons are known to play dead to ambush their prey. Therefore, when experiencing the Komodo dragon, tourists need to adhere to safety guidelines, maintaining a safe distance and limiting close contact to ensure absolute safety. The best time for hunting Komodo dragons is from April to December, when the climate is dry and comfortable. During this period, the sea is calm, making it convenient for boat exploration of the Pantai Mae Sea. After completing the necessary procedures, Indonesian tourists can choose to admire Komodo dragons by embarking on a 2-hour island hopping tour to Rinca Island. According to local experience, this island provides numerous opportunities to comfortably observe a diverse range of Komodo dragons of various ages. In just 15 minutes, you can encounter 3 Komodo dragons. Most of these dragons lie scattered along the path. Venturing deeper, you can also witness some unique moments in their daily lives. Number 12. The Sea Gypsy Tribe. How long can you hold your breath? 1 minute? 3 minutes? If you can manage 5 minutes, you are considered quite extraordinary. But did you know that in Indonesia there is a tribe capable of holding their breath for tens of minutes or even more? The Baho are one of the unique tribes in the world, leading a nomadic life around rivers and seas without nationality. As a seafaring tribe, they live scattered across Southeast Asia, from Indonesia to the Philippines and Malaysia. The Baho are known as exceptional freediving experts with superior freediving abilities. They are the guardians of the sea, as their lives are intimately connected with the ocean. Their traditions and customs revolve around protecting the sea. Regardless of gender or age, Baho boys, girls, and children are passionate about diving. They can spend up to 8 hours a day diving beneath the sea. Some even dedicate 60% of their time underwater. According to the latest research, the bodies of the Baho have adapted to their underwater lifestyle. Internal organs, such as the spleen, have evolved larger, helping increase oxygen in the blood during dives. While diving, the heart rate decreases, and blood is directed to vital organs. Having larger spleens containing more oxygen-rich red blood cells allows the Baho to extend their breath-holding time. This is crucial evidence that the Sea People tribe has evolved genetically to adapt to their living environment. It's a genetic trait rather than a learned experience. Sipple, a professional diver, describes how Baho people dive like dancing and moving very slowly. Despite being an experienced diver, Saful can only descend to about 5 meters, while the tribe members can dive from 12 to 15 meters deep. This creates the distinction of the Sea People tribe. It's known that Baho babies start free-diving training from a very young age. Some toddlers as young as 3 or 4 years old follow their parents to the sea to practice diving. Their lives revolve around fishing, using primitive and self-made tools. Besides fishing, they dive to search for sea cucumbers, pearls, or sea urchins, valuable resources to exchange for food on land. Due to their nomadic sea life over centuries but being detached from modern society, this tribe is less known. They have lived generations attached to the ocean but do not belong to any nation. Without nationality, the Baho do not have citizenship rights for the social welfare benefits that an ordinary person is entitled to. Number 11. Chili smoothie. Would you believe that there is a dish that just by looking at it makes you feel like you have indigestion? It's the chili smoothie from Indonesia. At first glance, it looks quite similar to a smoothie but has a thick consistency like a food item, and crucially, it contains nothing but chili. This dish is called a popular snack among the people of Indonesia. The main ingredient for this dish is almost entirely ground bird's eye chili, known for its extremely spicy taste. Additionally, it includes crispy fried tofu but in minimal quantities. It is eaten with shallots, garlic, and after being finely ground, pure chili water is added, shaken well, and then enjoyed. Looking at the images, many people have expressed surprise at this chili-filled dish. Some think it would lose its distinctive flavor because the spiciness would overshadow it. On the other hand, the majority of people believe that just by looking at it, they can already feel their stomachs aching. How about you? After seeing it, would you dare to try this dish? Share your thoughts with us. Number 10. No handshaking and no left-hand usage. Shaking hands when meeting someone is a civilized gesture in many countries, especially in developed nations. However, it is considered taboo in Indonesia, especially for women. Indonesia is the most popular Muslim-majority country globally, and Muslim women often dislike unfamiliar men touching their bodies. Ideally, when you meet someone in Indonesia, you should just smile and nod to greet them. Only when they extend their hand to shake hands should you reciprocate, and remember not to grip too tightly. Furthermore, using the left hand is a serious offense in this peculiar country. Indonesians strongly discourage the use of the left hand. According to local beliefs, the left hand is considered unclean and lacking in hygiene. Therefore, when using the left hand to hold, give, or receive objects or money, it will not be well received in this country. So, if you want to leave peacefully from here, you should be very careful with how you use your hands. Don't act hastily, otherwise you'll have to pay a high price. Number 9. No revealing attire and public displays of affection. No matter how alluring your figure is, it's advised to wear the most modest clothing possible when stepping into Indonesia, especially when visiting restaurants and religious temples. Wearing revealing attire is strictly prohibited, particularly for women. Clothing items like spaghetti straps, low-cut tops, shorts, and short skirts are strictly forbidden. For men, wearing shorts or tank tops in public places or religious temples is not permitted. Alongside the dress code, something the Indonesian government always emphasizes to tourists is to avoid displaying affection in public. Indonesian people often feel uncomfortable and perceive it as indecent when couples openly express their affection in public. When in this country, it's best to limit actions such as hugging and kissing. Additionally, maintaining a respectful distance that doesn't affect those around you is crucial. Some couples have even faced unpleasant incidents, including having things thrown at them for kissing in public. I believe you wouldn't want this to happen to you. Number 8. No gambling. While many tourist destinations allow gambling activities, in Indonesia, even betting a few coins could cost you dearly. Gambling in any form is strictly prohibited here, so stay away from spots and tempting invitations for these black-red games. In court, the consequences range from fines and deportation for lighter cases to imprisonment for more severe offenses. While people in many parts of the world view card games as a form of entertainment in their leisure time, in Indonesia, it is seen as something only idlers and those without a proper job would do. Playing such games is highly frowned upon by the Indonesian people. Moreover, if you encounter extremely devout Muslims, you might face even greater danger. This is one of the most strictly forbidden things in Indonesia that you must remember. Number 7. No pork consumption. Once again, this rule is applied based on Islamic principles. According to Islam, pork is considered filthy compared to other livestock because a pig's digestive system operates much faster than that of other livestock. This results in a shorter and less effective toxin elimination process. Additionally, pigs don't have sweat glands, allowing disease germs to store and develop in their fat tissues, blood, and meat. The final reason relates to the instincts of pigs. Among livestock, pigs are the only animals that tend to exchange messes as an inherent trait. Ethically, this behavior is unacceptable in Islam. Islamic scholars believe that a part of human nature will be adversely affected by consuming food derived from pork. The Indonesian government supports Islamic beliefs and agrees to restrict this type of food in the country, even when it causes significant economic losses to Indonesian farmers. Number 6. Strictest traffic rules in the world. In Indonesia, everyone wears a specific type of thick, secure head covering, a helmet. In this country, it costs around $13. This price is not considered expensive when it comes to ensuring safety and avoiding trouble with traffic police. The serious compliance of the people has turned these helmets into a symbol of traffic civility in Indonesia. However, it's important to note that this culture does not solely stem from the awareness of the Indonesian people, but is primarily enforced by the extremely strict traffic laws of the country. Under Indonesian law, motorbike riders not wearing helmets can face fines of around $500, have all their personal identification confiscated, be prohibited from going on the road, or even face imprisonment for up to 1 month. While these laws might seem severe, they have proven effective in a country where the motorbike-related mortality rate is the second highest in the world, reaching 73.6%. Number 5. Macabre Market. If you love animals, never visit the market called Toman in Indonesia. This place was once a famous tourist destination for the slaughter of wild animals. The market's specialties include bats and snakes, considered unsafe species. The notorious Taman market in northern Indonesia sells cats, dogs, and monkeys. The ruthless treatment of animals and the experience of a walk through hell have made Toman a tourist attraction. At one point, this market was even listed on TripAdvisor as a top attraction. At first glance, Toman may seem like any typical traditional market. The parking lot is crowded with trucks, and vendors offer all kinds of goods from ice cream and candy to plastic toys and fresh flowers. The colorful facade of the market showcases fruits, smoked fish, and spicy spices. However, this image only conceals the dark secrets behind the market, nicknamed the scariest in Indonesia. As you delve deeper into the market, you'll sense a stark difference. A pungent odor permeates the air, flies buzz around enjoying the feast of abundant meat. Bats with clipped wings, a snake gutted on a stick, or a few skewered meats. These are just a few scenes you might encounter. Dogs and cats are being prepared for consumption with wooden stakes located in the highland volcanic region of North Sulawesi. Taman used to be the largest traditional market in Minahasa. Most of the customers here are from the Minahasa ethnic group, known for their exotic cuisine. Today, while they no longer live a forest-based lifestyle as they did centuries ago, they still favor ancestral dishes, including snake and bat. The Minahasa people's meat section at the market is most bustling and vibrant on Saturdays. Most animals sold at the market are hunted by local residents in the forest. Despite the potential health risks of consuming wild game, the locals ensure their reputation by claiming they are selling safe food based on their lifelong credibility. Can you believe that some people become husband and wife after just one day of knowing each other? It may sound absurd, but in Indonesia it's quite normal. More and more young people in Indonesia, the world's largest Muslim country, are skipping the dating phase and going straight to marriage after a brief conversation. Success stories of marriages without dating have gained significant traction on Indonesia's internet. One such story is about Muhammad Alvin Fazi, the son of a famous polygamous preacher. Images of the 21-year-old inundated social media after he married a 19-year-old girl, initially a Catholic who converted to Islam upon meeting Faz through a matchmaker. Returning to the trend of marrying without dating, supporters believe it empowers women to choose a life partner without compromising in premarital relationships. However, some critics warn that marrying based solely on reason rather than emotion may lack a genuine connection between the couple and could potentially put the woman in a precarious situation. A successful marriage means both partners must adhere to the teachings of Islam regarding the duties of husbands and wives. It becomes a significant issue if both parties are unaware of each other's rights and responsibilities. In such cases, divorce becomes inevitable. Immediately buy a plane ticket and head to Sumatra, Indonesia to pick up gold. Yes, getting rich here is surprisingly easy. You just need to take a stroll and you might find gold. Numerous precious artifacts made of pure gold worth millions of USD have been discovered along the Mu River in Sumatra Island over the past 5 years. The continuous findings of these valuable artifacts have led archaeologists to believe that this area was once the legendary empire of Shaya. Shaya, often referred to as the Golden Island in Indonesian folklore, is said to be an ancient civilization that achieved incredible wealth and prosperity. Until now, researchers have been trying to find traces of the Shaya Empire, which mysteriously disappeared around the 14th century. Recent archaeological discoveries have sparked hope among scientists that they have found evidence of the existence of the Shaya Empire. Local divers, while underwater fishing along the Mu River, unintentionally stumbled upon these valuable treasures. In the river section near Palang City, divers often unexpectedly find ancient treasures, from Buddha statues dating back to the 8th century, adorned with precious stones to valuable gold jewelry. Despite the findings of precious gold jewelry and Buddha statues made of bronze or even gold adorned with precious stones and dating back to the 8th century, archaeologists believe these artifacts reflect the ancient wealth of the Shaya Empire. Nevertheless, the mystery of why this kingdom vanished continues to baffle historians. If you live in Indonesia for a while, you will notice that there are many shamans in the country. Because the Indonesian people are highly superstitious, Many Indonesians face financial difficulties or even lose their lives due to believing the false promises of fake shamans, who use mystical and superstitious methods to deceive their victims. In a predominantly Muslim country like Indonesia, many people believe in shamans. Exploiting this, many fraudsters have used deceptive tactics to swindle the assets of their victims, and worse, take their lives. In April 2023, the Indonesian police arrested a spiritual leader in a village accused of killing at least 12 people after several bodies were found buried in the man's garden. He was charged with premeditated murder at his private home in Banjarnegara, Central Java. The shaman promised to miraculously help clients with money, but when they felt no spiritual experiences and wanted a refund, he resorted to poisoning them. Ultimately, these shamans are working for money, and they do not possess the supernatural powers that many superstitious Indonesians still believe in. Giving gifts can be quite complex. Items such as beef, knives, or sharp objects are always excluded during initial meetings. Giving small gifts is the best way to express care and sincerity in establishing long-term relationships. However, gifts should be modest, possibly representing the symbol of your country or province, and they don't need to be wrapped. When receiving a gift, the recipient often says thank you and sets the gift aside without opening it until you leave. Therefore, when given a gift by an Indonesian, it is advisable not to open it in front of them. You can give gifts on occasions such as returning home, being invited to an Indonesian house, or expressing gratitude to someone who has helped you. Indonesian Chinese people appreciate receiving food as a gift, but not during a party invitation. Bringing food then implies that the host does not have enough to treat you. Instead, sending food afterward is seen as a thank you gift. Candy or a fruit basket is the best choice. They may refuse the gift up to 3 times before accepting it to avoid appearing greedy. Flowers are also a common gift. However, avoid giving odd numbers of flowers as it is considered unlucky. When men give flowers or gifts to a woman, misunderstandings may occur. Therefore, when giving gifts, they often say, and you should say too, that the gift is from your spouse. Remember these rules to be appreciated by Indonesians. It will be very useful for you when traveling or working there. We hope that through this video, you have gained a deeper understanding of Indonesia and appreciate the diversity and richness of its culture. Continue to explore the world around us and respect the uniqueness of each country. Thank you for joining us on this journey. See you in the next videos.